What's up, guys? It's Cruz from Trigger Happy Projects here with another video. Today we are going to be looking at an energy drink, and not just any energy drink, but the carbonated can from GamerSupps. Now this isn't a review per se, more of a experience recap, if you will. So for the past few weeks, I've been preparing and getting ready to do another anime convention. Surprise, surprise, right? I was there, and on the Thursday of the setup, one of my good friends from GamerSupps, this is a guy I go back with like 10 years now, at least, long before his GamerSupps career, and we were in the exhibit hall doing all of the setup stuff, right? So he hooks me and my fellow staff members up with a box of GamerSupps, and specifically the variety pack of the can version, right? And this is the new sugar-free variety pack, the one that has the brand risk. They have a version with the sugar for these three, which are pretty decent. This one's my favorite, obviously. Good was my favorite, and the powder as well, at least until I tried Nile Nectar. But these are really good. The taste is pretty on point. It's almost like a really less watered down GamerSupps. Like the flavor's full focus. You know how sometimes with the powder you can like add too much or too little? This is like the perfect mix. They were able to mix everything. You can see everything here, and we're going to talk about those ingredients because things got kind of crazy. Now, this is the only surviving can. I have given all the other cans out to friends, to family. I wanted everybody who enjoys this stuff to try it, and over the course of the weekend, I had about 2 or 3 of these myself. At least 2, but it's probably 3, let's be real. So let's get into this one. This is the Peach Mango, the brand risk. And this is my first caffeine of the day. And the reason why I want to have it in front of you is because it's part of the story. So the first can of GamerSupps I had was the Cherry Slushy Good. And what I did was I took that can and I took my tumbler of ice, right? This is after shift. The convention's over for the day. There isn't any events going on the floor. Convention staff need to relax too, and if we can't do it during the day because of working, for all of you beautiful attendees, we have to do it at night. So I said, what the hell, it's only like 8:30, 9 p.m. Let's put this GamerSupps into 3 shots of rum in this tumbler. Poured the cherry slushy in, and I sipped on that over the course of, I want to say, about an hour. I sipped that and a Miller Lite pint, tall, you know, the 16-ounce can. I sipped both of those while seshing out with some of my fellow staff friends. And you probably shouldn't mix GamerSupps with alcohol. Caffeine and alcohol is already a bad thing, you know, for the human body and the heart and whatnot, especially if you get older, if you're prone to heart issues or strokes. You know, you already know not to touch energy drinks. GamerSupps is probably one of those ones you really don't want to touch, but the good news is they sell a hydration formula in their tubs, so you can get that delicious flavor without the potential heart palpitations. You'll be all right. But for those of us who can handle our caffeine, because that's just the way we're built, I figured this was nothing. You know, the cherry slushy wouldn't do much at all to me, right? 125 milligrams of caffeine. There's 160 milligrams in my daily energy drink. I'll be just fine. Man, that's actually pretty good. Peach and mango together hasn't been like my favorite mix of flavors, but I could chill with this. This one is brand risk. So back on topic, the night's going great. I had met up with 2 or 3 different groups, walking around, doing my thing. We all had a great time, and at 2 a.m. we decided to split up. Now, keep in mind, I had that energy drink consumed by maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. Typically with an energy drink, I'm crashing out at like maybe 2 hours after drinking one, maybe a little sooner if the energy drink is heavily laden with sugar. This zero sugar formula fucked me up. I am not kidding with you guys. It was my first time trying, not the cans. I took a sip of a can from a friend one time because same friend who gave me these gave me a single can once, and I was like, oh, okay. I gave the can to a friend, but I did try the flavor. It was the Russian Badger, the Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000. Honestly, not my favorite flavor, but it worked out. I was like, yeah, I could see it. I never drank a whole one. So I got back into bed at 2 in the morning. I am successfully smoked out, drank out. I'm feeling everything. And I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I've been up since 7 a.m., 7:30. Yeah, 7:30 or so. I've been up since 7:30 in the morning. And I had just worked like 8 or 9 hours on shift that day at the convention. So, like, if anything, I should have crashed out and got some of the best sleep of my life. But when I go into con mode, that's when you only need like 2 or 3 hours of fragmented napping each day. You don't need to actually get REM sleep for 3 or 4 days. It's weird, I know. You might say it's unhealthy. A scientist can tell me some bullshit. I'm telling you what I know. We are monsters. Con mode, con workers. We can flip this switch that for whatever reason, like, keeps us going for the course of that 3 or 4 days. Our bodies are just so used to it. And I wish I could explain it with science. And you probably could if you really dug deep, but I can't. And that's all there is to it, man. I was in con mode, but I was also under the influence of the GamerSupps. So, like I said, 2 a.m., I'm back up in my room. 3:45 rolls around. I'm still there, staring up at the ceiling. The sun's gonna rise in a couple hours, and I gotta be on the convention floor at 9 o'clock, which means I need to be up and showering and ready because you don't want to be the stinky guy at the convention. Like, seriously, guys. I was surprised that there were not that many BO issues. I don't know if weebs are getting better about it or what's going on to have made it to that point, but thank you for showering. Please shower. So here I am thinking I've got maybe 3 or 4 hours left of fragmented napping, and I just can't do it. It was well after 4 o'clock when my eyes finally decided to close, and I swear I was like waking up. I don't even think I was asleep. I don't think waking up could be accurate because my eyes were closed and like it just wasn't sleep. Like, it wasn't REM sleep. And I was just like kind of getting up every hour or so, checking the clock or looking around, maybe hitting the restroom, whatever I got to do. And I just like had that fragmented sleep. It was no real sleep. And I very much think that GamerSupps played a role in that, which is not a bad thing because if this is what you want, is that energy when you get an energy drink. So it did exactly what I wanted it to do. The next day, I went with coffee from the coffee shop because, wow, I really didn't need that kind of burst in the morning. Much easier day of work, and my biggest thing was working these concert and main event lines more towards the end of the day when things got absolutely crazy, because they would. I had the brand risk flavor, this exact same one. There was like 3 of them in the pack. Need another taste of this one. And I popped that can right when we were setting up the lines for one of our major concert events. Now, this concert event was delayed. There's like all kinds of stories there, but it did happen and it was pretty sick. The fact, though, of all of the things that I'm getting to is that my boss came downstairs to talk to me, to kind of assess the situation. You know, we were trying to figure out why our concert got delayed by almost 2 hours. It was like an hour and a half. It was pretty rough. Lots of crazy stuff. But we were discussing logistics, and she asked how I was doing, and I said, "Oh, I'm doing great." Like I was maybe halfway through this can, which is about where I am now, and I was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm great. Things are cool. We're rocking and rolling. As soon as this is, we got this. We're professionals." So I'm talking to her. And she's like, "Oh, you're drinking," because she sees the can. And I said, "Oh, no," because I guess she assumed I was drinking alcohol, right? It looks, maybe like a Truly seltzer or something. I don't know any alcohol that has anime girls on the front, potentially VTubers. I don't know. I don't know the whoever original character or whatever. This is most likely a like VTuber. They do a lot of influencer flavors. But just like now, look at my hand. I swear I'm not doing this. Other hand. Look at it. My arm is moving. It's like, yeah, GamerSupps will give you temporary Parkinson's if you drink the whole thing. And I'm at half, and I'm just like, man, I really don't even need the other half. I'm feeling a lot more toasted already. Like that's not the right word. I'm looking over at my vape. I'm like, man, I want to take some hits. Haven't had any THC today, so it is what it is. But this stuff will get you pretty wired, man. I'm going to finish the whole can, though, for science, because You know, I feel like I deserve that for you guys. And once again, the flavor is exquisite. I'm typically not an artificial sweetener guy, but it doesn't have that stupidly heavy stevia taste. I don't know what they did to smooth it out, but it just doesn't taste like a diet soda or a diet energy drink, like a Zero Ultra or, you know, sugar-free variant of drinks that I enjoy. But it's pretty top tier, man. I've got about a third of the can left. Well, maybe a third of the can left. And it's you see, now you should always consume responsibly. You know, they do have their warnings. I had a friend who actually he cannot drink GamerSupps, but you can see the active ingredients here. There's the caffeine, 125 mils. Sorry about the shaking. Let me see if I can steady. And there's l-theanine, and I want to say that's 69. Yeah, 69 milligrams of l-theanine, which I'm unsure what that even is. I'm not a science doctor. And I think that whatever that is like more than that typical amount that they put in other drinks, because for whatever reason, this gives me the shakes. So I told her, no, it's not alcohol. It's an energy drink, right? And she looks at it. Oh, it's GamerSupps. It's one of the bigger, you know, sponsor type booths down in the dealer room or exhibit hall or whatever you want to call it. And then she saw the shake. And she's like, Cruz, you're shaking. And I'm like, I know, trust me. And then she said, these are not good for you. And I told her, look. I got up. I explained what time I woke up that morning to be on the con floor, which was her orders. And then I also explained that I only had a cup of coffee this morning, and that was in the morning. Keep in mind, this is like 12, maybe 13 hours. I sip the coffee for a good 2 or 3 hours. Like, I walk around with my espresso, bro. I think it was probably a good 8 or 9 hours at least of no caffeine. So it was perfectly the right time to hit this. But this is one of the best energy drinks, like, out there if you're looking for that rush. I am feeling way better than I just was, and I'm pretty stoked to get back to video editing and all the other good stuff. This is definitely convention fuel. My only recommendation is that you be careful with it. It is very strong. If you have a fizz keeper or some way to seal the top and only drink half at a time, maybe do that. If you're sensitive to caffeine at all, do not fuck with this particular drink, but fuck with the brand. They have hydration drinks, just vitamin type drinks. I want to say they even have something that's more on the lines of like a pre-workout nowadays. I don't know. There's a lot of drinks and powders and stuff happening in the world, and GamerSupps is just one of the ones that I've always enjoyed ever since its inception. My favorites flavors were how's this for a throwback? Misfits Melon. That was my shit when it came out. So I've always supported the brand, and I just love them, man. Go get you some GamerSupps unless you are sensitive to caffeine. Maybe take it slow or avoid the caffeine at all. Get the hydration variant. But guys, that's it for this one. I got about 25% of this can left, and I think I'm going to finish it later. I can already, it's hard to steady my hands. My fingers are finging, and I'm not even stoned, right? But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please check out all the other fantastic content, and go check out GamerSupps because they're cool. See you later.